Track 6, measure what matters. Measure what matters or we will never see improvements. The problem is that government measures are based on bad data, no data, or misleading information. So government decisions and policies are not based on what the American people want and expect. Now, sometimes the problem is there is absolutely no data at all. For example, how many men of color have been killed by police officers in each of the last 5 years? Or how many children of color have been expelled or suspended from school in each of the last 5 years? Or how many women are in prison because they behaved aggressively when defending themselves or their children from a violent partner or spouse? Sometimes the problem is we have a little bit of data, but no comprehensive programs and strategies to deal with it. For example, we used to be #1 in the world regarding the quality of our infrastructure, the quality of bridges, roads, and tunnels. Now we're number 16. Or every year about 46 million people get sick from bad food. Where are the coordinated programs and policies to deal with that? Sometimes the problem is there's a related set of data and statistics, but no comprehensive whole of government programs and policies to deal with it. For example, there's a lot of data about domestic violence, school bullying, how many women and children are homeless because of domestic violence, how many women have been hurt in domestic violence incidents, how many men have been hurt in domestic violence incidents. So there is data, but there's no coordinated set of programs and policies. And there's absolutely no way of sharing what works when some communities have developed innovative, effective programs and other communities are struggling to figure out where to start. Sometimes the problem is we take one small piece of a larger data set. For example, recently the unemployment rate has been announced as 5.5%. But we know that that does not include people who have stopped looking for work, and it does not include people who are working part-time. Those numbers altogether are about 11% or slightly more, which is about the unemployment rate on most Native American communities and most Native American communities, except for the tribes where unemployment is 40% or 50% or 60%. The unemployment rate for post-9/11 veterans is 6.9%. For post-9/11 women veterans, it's 8.5%. If we only look at 5.5% unemployment, we don't see that youth unemployment is 14%, rises to 21% for African American youth, and summer unemployment can be as high as 92% when so many of our young people are looking for work. If we can't get the numbers right, if we can't even get the jobs numbers right, how are we ever going to understand that there are 45 million Americans that live in poverty, or 50 million Americans that are going to be hungry today or tomorrow? Now, don't tell me that the numbers are too big and we can't handle big problems. We can. Here's a number. When 5-year-olds enter school, poor children, 5-year-olds that come from poor families are 2 years behind in language development. Now here's the related programs and policies. When this past school year started, New York City enrolled 53,230 4-year-olds in their universal pre-kindergarten programs. Great programs, well-designed programs with great teachers who were screened and trained. And I don't mean one-shot training, I mean continuous training with coaches. It went so well that they expect to enroll 73,000 4-year-olds for the next school year. That's what Track 6 says. Measure what matters. We have to stop measuring paperwork, process, phone calls answered, contracts awarded, and instead focus on results and measure what matters, results.